Hello, can you guys hear me? Let me go to the chat. Is my voice audible? All of you? Hello, Ved, Dio, thanks for joining. Anyone else can confirm if they can hear me? Then we will get started. Hi Anish Prajapati, hi Pramukh, Belam. Thanks everyone. How is your weekend going on? Are you guys afraid because of this recession news all over? Hi Sibaram, sorry. Thanks Pramukh, thanks for confirming. So we will start it. Just give us a minute. Some more people are joining. I was also 2-3 minutes late because I was doing some final setup. Okay, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So cold is increasing here in the UK, and of course November, December it will be more, right? Thanks, Ved. Ved is not afraid because of recession. Excellent. So we will start and let others join. Okay. So yes, Karan, I'm doing good. Hope you are doing good as well. I'm doing good. What we will do is we will start and let others join. Okay. And what is the agenda today? Same agenda, the Thursday sessions that we were doing on Thursdays. So what happens is now 5.5 hours difference between UK and India. So it will be really late for you guys and not possible for me to join before 5:30 because up to 5:15 we will be closing only office work, right? So I decided let's do it on weekend. Another reason for doing on weekend is maybe more people can join. Some people who are working in different shift, or maybe some people who are working in who are not able to join on the weekdays, they can join, right? So with that note, let's start the discussion. It's as usual open discussion. We just learn from each other's knowledge, right? So first question, guys, let me maximize it. This is one question that I put on my YouTube community section. If you saw this yesterday, right? And what is this question saying is Tesla is building a feature prediction model, sorry, failure prediction model to predict early failure of car parts. Okay. So there will be car parts. The model, what should do? Model should predict the failure of the car parts. Okay. Early failure, detect. Which of the below confusion matrix you will choose? Okay. Positive class means part fails. So what we are trying to predict? We are trying to predict if car part fails. Okay. And here are two confusion matrix. So which confusion matrix you will choose for that and why? So in this case, in confusion matrix 1, you can say that false positives, no, false negatives are more. So in confusion matrix 1, false negative is high. Okay. And in confusion matrix 2, false positive is high. Okay. So which confusion matrix do you think in this scenario makes more sense? So this is again one interview question. You can think and tell me. Ved is saying A, but I think I will slightly disagree with that. I will choose option B. The reason being, it's a kind of scenario where we want to, in one way, you can say save human life. So suppose Tesla installs this software in the car which tells that this part is working totally fine and there's nothing wrong with this part for next 5 years. Okay. And your model is telling like that and the part fails. So it's a very, very risky affair. So we do not want any false negatives here. Am I right? We do not want any false negatives here because this is very similar to predicting a disease. This is very similar to predicting if somebody is a fraud. So false negatives means something is already fraud, your model is saying it's not fraud. See the first confusion matrix. The part is failing, but your model is saying it's not failing. We don't want this to happen. Are you with me? The part is failing, but your model is saying it's not failing. This 30 is the culprit. I don't want this 30. Okay. This 30 should be as low as possible. Now, if you see the second confusion matrix, right? Here, your part is not failing. Okay, actually, but your model says it fails. No big deal. I mean, it is false positive, right? So no big deal. I mean, even if some part is not failing, and if you see the accuracy of this model, right, it is still good. So can you tell me what is accuracy of the model here? So I'm sure most of you will know this: 100 plus 200 divided by all four numbers. So some of you, just a brush up for all of you. If somebody asks you what is the, by showing a confusion matrix, what is the accuracy of this model, this is the accuracy of this model, whatever this number comes. Okay, so 300 divided by 332, right? This is your model accuracy. So accuracy is anyway good. What we want to see is where we want to compromise, false positives or false negatives, right? So this part you can, I think I will go with option B. I think most of you are agreeing on this. So we will move on to the next one. Okay, so here I'm specifically putting some concepts from retail analytics. Okay, so as you know, there are different branches of analytics. So it can be banking and finance, it can be supply chain, it can be telecom analytics, it can be some other kind of analytics, right? So these two terms are relating more to a retail kind of scenario. For example, Big Bazaar, or for example, any online store like Amazon. So have you heard of term called market basket analysis? And have you heard of the term called market mix modeling? Do you know what so these kind of questions can come to interview to you in the interview, saying what these models do. Okay, so what is your idea in that? Yeah, DMart is another good example. So just to give you some market basket, maybe you know already. So market basket is basically very simple to understand. It tells you which product goes with which product. Okay, so for example, if I go to DMart and I take, yes, I have explained this before also. If I go to DMart and I take, let's say, two customers basket. Okay, this is basket one and this is basket two of two different customers. Okay, so in basket one, I will see, let's say, bread, and I will see, let's say, butter. Okay, and I will see, let's say, any other thing, you can say shampoo. Okay, and in this basket also I see bread. Okay, and I see butter, and I see any other product, let's say, you can say, let's say, cream, hair cream, just an example. So what I am seeing here is bread and butter go together. Okay, and that is the exact purpose of market basket analysis. So if I give you, let's say, hundreds and 200s of baskets, then which product go together, that analysis is called market basket analysis. What is market mix modeling? Market mix modeling is, to make your campaign better. So you, as a online store, you run some campaigns, marketing campaigns, right? So you can take any example, anybody is running. So when you are scrolling the Facebook, right, you might see some campaigns coming to you, some motivational speaker, or some data science seminars. So all those are campaigns, right? So market mix modeling gives you an understanding of, in campaign, what should be your right strategy. Okay, so what is your right strategy will depend on how you, what is your approach to the campaign. For example, let's say I can put my 20% budget in online marketing. I can put my 10% budget in some other way of marketing, let's say email marketing. Okay, and I can compare, if I give a discount, then how much my sale jumps. If I don't give a discount, then how much my sale drops. This is another factor. Okay, I can say if I am selling in, if I am running a campaign in the month of June, then how much my sale is jumping up. If I'm running a campaign in the month of, let's say, May, how much my campaign is, I mean, sales is coming down. So here we are capturing multiple things if you see. So based on multiple, so that is why I'm calling it mix here. The name of this model is mix. This is a machine learning model again, statistical analysis basically. Okay. So based on this combination, you will see what is working best for you. Okay. And that is mixing kind of scenario. So that is the name mix. So market mix model means a way to optimize your marketing strategy, you can say, based on multi-factors. So this is a very interesting model, and many people use this model in retail analytics kind of scenario. So guys, let me tell you one thing here. In data science, right? You have to keep in mind that if you go into banking and finance, right? Banking and finance, which means any bank, finance, or insurance or reinsurance, these kind of companies, right? Or if you go in retail, retail means any retail client you can take, for example, Walmart, or for example, in India, you can take DMart or Unilever or any of these guys, right? You will have more openings always, more job opportunities always. Okay, because analytics is slightly matured in these industries, these two industries. Hence, try to understand from banking and finance point of view what different analytics can be done, and from retail point of view, have the understanding of what different analytics can be done. So if I talk of banking and finance, fraud analysis or transaction monitoring or anomaly detection or risk analytics or compliance analytics, many things can be done. In retail, just like I explained you two of the use cases, right? There can be recommendation systems, there can be another type of campaign analytics, there can be churn prediction, there can be customer lifetime value. So many different types of analytics can be done. So the reason I'm saying is, have an understanding of these things, because tomorrow if you're going for interview, so in the later slide I will talk about why these things are important. Okay. Because your resume should be tweaked a little bit. I'll tell you how to tweak the resume. Today I will tell you towards the end. Okay. So imagine when you are giving interview, right? You are not giving for only one company, right? You are trying to get a job, so you are open for any of these sectors. Okay. Now imagine you go in one of these sectors and you are clueless about what is meant by transaction monitoring, for example. So my idea here is, don't be clueless. Okay, know about, okay, these are types of use cases that is done in this sector, blah blah blah. So I will tell you in the end how to tweak your resume for these sectors or based on the requirement. Let's go to the third one. I have two kind of similar kind of questions from Python here. Simple ones actually. Just a one-liner will do the job. How can you delete a system file from Python? So you are running a Python script .py, right? And you want to delete a system file. How can you do that? Number one. Number two, you want to fire a Unix command from Python. How can you do that? Both are one-liners. You can tell me. So here and here, we will write it here. Or which module will help you to do that? Suppose in my hard drive, I have a file aman.txt. Okay. I want to delete this from my .py file. I mean, through my Python script. How can I do that? And let's say I have a file. Some file is there in my Unix box in my server. Some aman.sh. How can I delete this aman.sh file from my Python file? These two are more or less similar questions. If you can tell me which module will be helpful, that is also one direction towards answer. So since I'm not getting any answer, so you can use a module called OS. Yes, Sibaram is saying OS. Yes, you can use a module called OS. And if I remember the command correctly, I think os.remove will remove your file. Okay. And if I have to run a Unix command from Python, I can say OS again, or there is something called a what is that module called? Sub process. Yeah. import sub process. Okay, and in this sub process you can call a Unix command. Okay, sub process you can call a Unix command like this. So you can, what is a Unix command for removing a file? It is rm, right? Rm, put it here. Also from OS you can do the same thing. Okay, let's move on to the third one. So this is a conceptual question again. So what are the differences between a model? Suppose you are training a model and in one iteration you use linear regression model, you can think, minimizes squared errors. So in one iteration you use MSE, okay, and in second iteration you use MAE. So what kind of scenarios you think which error metric will be more appropriate? So here we are comparing MSE and MAE. Again, a conceptual question. Interviewer will ask you to, we should not only know the definitions, right? So everybody knows this is a squared thing and this is a absolute thing. Everybody knows that. But when do you want to use what? Just can you think and tell me? I'll give you one minute of or 30 seconds of time to think. It's not like we just go and say, use this or use that. There has to be some logic for that, right? So since I'm not getting any response here also, let me say you guys can try, at least it can be wrong or something. Then only if it's wrong, then there is a scope for learning, right? Yes. So multiple factors will decide, multiple things will decide. Number one point is how much weightage you want to give to outliers. Okay, so in your data, if there are outliers and if you want to give more weightage to that, then you will use MSE because it is a squared thing, right? So squared means your outlier error magnitude will be increased more. Okay, and if you are, that is first point. Second point is more number of variables, then also use MSE. What may happen is number of variables. What may happen is this MAE may, the magnitude of each of the variable, right? If you have limited number of variables in MAE, one variable can give a false picture about your analysis. Okay, so if you have more number of variables, then use MSE. And let me see what people are saying. When we are concerned about individual error, we check absolute error. Yes, that's a acceptable point, but that will be valid only when you have limited number of observations, right? Otherwise, how you can kind of point by point error analysis is what Parag is saying. So absolute error is basically point by point error analysis. So row by row, you can say. So row one, what is the error? Row two, what is the error? Like that. So basically what you have to understand is outliers, number of variables, and how you want to analyze the errors. On these three factors, you will decide. Basically, people may say that, both of these are same, but these are not same because mathematically it's not same. One is squared, other is absolute, right? So based on these things, you can formulate your answer if somebody asks you these questions. Again, a Python one. So here is an array. Okay, this is an array. This is not a list, and your job is to give the what are the duplicate elements in the array. For example, 1 is repeated and 3 is repeated. So if you see 3 is here, so give me a one liner that gives me the duplicate of this array. Any idea? Lambda, what you will do in lambda? How you will write the lambda? So what I want to have is duplicate things in a separate array. How you can do it smartly is the question. So there can be multiple ways of doing it, but what is the smart way of doing it? No answers. What is a non-smart way of doing it? Anyway, lambda we can use, list comprehension we can use. Which is better? Another thing we can do is we can convert it to a set, and we can see using not in operator, which is not there in the unique thing. So what I mean to say is we can take the help of this set also. So multiple ways. The dumbest way will be to run a for loop and see which is not duplicate. I mean which is duplicate. That is the dumb way. So better way would be try to do it in one liner, either using lambda or list comprehension or using sets, any of these approaches. Okay, so another Python one, simple one liner only. You are given two arrays, one array, second array, and Python function to return. Python function means one liner. I mean, you have to return the intersection of these two arrays. So 9 is here also and here also. 9 is here also, here also. How can you return 9, 0? I'm sorry, 0 and 9. I mean, these two are arrays again, remember. Can there be a one liner that can do this? All these comes from someone or else's interview experience. Okay, otherwise I'll not be putting here. So maybe you will encounter this in some of the interview. So again, there can be a dumb way of doing it, running a loop and comparing. But what is the smart way of doing it? Intersection will not work on array, I believe, directly. Will it work? This is an array. Will it work? Intersection y directly? Set of x and set of y. Somebody is saying set of x and set of y. List of set of x and set of y. Just to return it in the form of array, or you can say array also as a keyword. I think this is fine. But this one, first one, I doubt. Without converting to set, how the intersection will work. And here I think intersection keyword will also work. I believe maybe a different syntax of writing, but that will also work, I believe. Using list comprehension, someone is saying lambda x, x in y. lambda x in y. So multiple ways of doing the same thing. We have to see. First thing when somebody asks you these questions is you must not take the way which is time consuming and which is resource intensive. Those things you should not do. Apart from that, everything is fine. So what is that process? What will be that process? Running for loops and comparing the elements. So that is something which interviewer is not interested in hearing. All other approaches are fine because you are trying to optimize your code. So today is a session on YouTube live only, and that will be just after this session finishes. That is IST 4:30 p.m. Okay, and we will be discussing anybody who wants to learn data science, how they should approach it stepwise. Okay, many things are changing in the industry, many requirements are changing from the job perspective. So how things are changing in the industry, we will discuss, and you can ask your questions as well. This session was planned on a different platform, but today it will happen on YouTube live only because many people can join here. Not there many people can join, I think, because notification will not go. So here notification goes, join at 4:30 p.m. after this, okay? And you can shoot your questions as well, whatever difficulties you are facing, etc. So see you there in that session also. Just a heads up for that. And here is a puzzle and interesting one, and not very difficult one, simple one only. So there are 8 balls, okay? 7 of them weigh the same, and one of them has a different weight. How do you know if it's heavier, or you don't know it's heavier or lighter? How do you find the odd ball with 2 weighs only? So you are allowed to do 2 times weigh only, and out of 8 balls, find out the default ball or the odd ball. You understood the question, or it's written in a description is decent only, you can read. You have 8 balls, 1 ball is not weighing the same. You are given 2 times you can weigh. Sorry, 2 weighs. Means 2 weighing machine you can consider. Optimized way of doing that. What would be the better way of doing it? Don't see in the internet, you will find the answer, but here we are not. B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, and B8. 8 balls are here. One of them is either lighter or heavier. Okay. So what is the optimized way of finding that? So this is one weighing machine, for example. This is another weighing machine. Okay. Any idea how you can approach? So I'm giving you some hint here. This is your group 1. This is your group 2. And this is your group 3. Okay. Now what you can do? So you can take this group, maybe group 1, put it here. Okay. And see the weight. What is the weight of group 1? Okay. And what is the weight of group 2? Okay. Obviously, one of them will be heavier and other one. If out of these three balls, any ball is different weight. Now from here there can be only two scenarios, right? Scenario one is G1 and G2 are same. G1 and G2 weigh same. Okay. And scenario two is G1 and G2 weigh different. Way different. Okay. Wherever you see, whichever is, you will have two numbers, right? So see which number is divisible from 3, because if all the weights are equal weight, then that number will be divisible by 3. That's not your candidate. Take the other one. Okay. And I'm saying if the two weights are different, if the two are same, then you will come to group 3. Now we are not coming to group 3, we are considering G1 and G2 weight different. Okay. So see which one is divisible by 3, that is not your candidate. The other one which is not divisible by 3, take any two balls, put on two things. If it's same, then the third ball is your ball. And if it's not same, then obviously you will know which is heavy and which is light. Okay. And suppose none of these happens, then you will take G3 and you will put B7 here and B8 here and see which is heavy and which is light. Yes, if G1 and G2 are equal, then we go to G3. If unequal, then we see which group we should put more focus on. In that group, take two balls, weigh it, see if they are same, then the third ball is your ball. They are not same, then anyway you know which is your ball. Right? So this is again a famous interview question. Okay, people will ask you this just to see the approach, not to come to the right answer. The purpose of puzzle is not to reach right answer. See your analytical abilities or how you approach a problem. Okay. And you can just press the like button, guys, if you're liking this session, so that people will get the recommendation that session is going on. Okay. And here I want to tell you something special if you are looking to get your job in the current, tight market situation, right? So two things here. One is I want to talk about something known as cover letter. Okay. So cover letter is pretty important, especially if you are applying for jobs in outside India. India cover letter culture is not that much, but if you attach cover letter, then also it will be, your resume will look better. Okay. So how to create a cover letter? You can just go to internet and find a template for cover letter. And why cover letter is important is because this is customized for all the organization. For example, today you are applying for ABC organization, tomorrow you are applying for XYZ organization, right? So your cover letter will change based on where you are applying. Okay. And here I'm specifically talking about how to create a customized resume or customized profile. Okay. So in place of sending one resume to everybody, right? Try to have multiple versions of resume and obviously multiple versions of cover letter. So 2 points I'm saying here. One is multiple versions of your resume, multiple versions, because nowadays it has become very competitive. Okay. Especially in current scenario, pay focus on these things. It will make your chances more. And obviously cover letter. So go to internet, find a format for cover letter. You can change based on where you are applying. But how to create multiple versions of resume? So obviously the source for this will be your job description. If you can see that, sometimes you will not be able to see that. So sometimes you have to do little more research on the organization profile. Now what research you will do on this? First of all, this organization is which sector? Okay. Which sector where you are applying, whether it is a telecom, pharma sector, banking, or what sector. Then you will see what are the main analytics work happening in that organization. Okay. So for example, you can here say area of data science, I'm saying. Okay. Then you will see some of the people's profile in the LinkedIn who you will search, obviously give the keyword data science or analytics or machine learning and give the organization name. Okay, so you know the name of the organization, give name. Analyze the profile of the people and see what they are doing and what is their background, what kind of work they are doing. So if you do, for example, if you have JD or if you don't have JD also, and if you know the sector, if you know area of analytics or data science they are working, and if you know what people over there are doing, right, you will have a kind of some level of idea on what work might be happening there. Okay, and tweak your resume based on that. So for example, in your resume there is a recommendation engine project and there is a transaction monitoring project. Just an example I'm giving. So transaction monitoring relates to banking and finance, recommendation engine relates to maybe a retail kind of scenario. So based on your analysis, right, you can tweak your resume accordingly and give the resume which is making more sense for the role you are applying. Okay. Second thing is, you must do whenever you are applying for an organization, you must visit their website. This I have been telling many times. Okay. And you will realize the importance of this only when you know, questions on this will come and you will not be able to answer. Visit the website and see values and ethics, values and ethics of the organization. Okay. And when you are going for interview and when the HR round is happening, or when you are talking to somebody senior or some hiring manager or somebody, you know, anything apart from technical, right, then you should showcase your in values and ethics. For example, you can have one point can be, let's say, doing business with the integrity. Okay, that is one point. Another point can be doing business with the honesty. Okay. Third point can be maybe corporate social responsibility or responsibility towards the environment or responsibility towards the planet earth or reducing carbon footprint or whatever you think sometimes that why I should do research on this, right? Believe me, there is a possibility that you might get rejected because they did not see, though you are very good technically, but you might get rejected because they did not see those values in you. Okay, especially companies which are not Indian companies. Okay, so in Indian companies, Indian MNCs, these things are not too much weightage given, but European companies or US organization, right? Very, very critical. So read about, go to their website. It's not difficult to find. Values, ethics, mostly it will be same only, like honesty, integrity, equal opportunities for everybody, no racial discrimination, no gender discrimination, you know, no bribe policy, all those good things you can say. So anyway, we are not doing all these things, right? So we can talk about that. So when you are talking to leadership, when you are talking to hiring manager or HRs, then show that these things are there in your personality. Okay. And remember these 2 points in current market scenario, not current market scenario, I'll say make it a habit only. Okay. Have cover letter and have multiple versions of your resume based on your research. That will help you a lot, especially when you are looking for good organizations which is not doing mass recruitment, right? So there are organizations which are doing mass recruitment. Mass recruitment means nothing, you know, too great about that company, to keep it very short, right? So if you are looking to go in some good organization where you have good team, good learning opportunities, money wise also good, then you need to prepare little differently. This is all, these are non-technical things that I'm telling you, because we anyway keep talking technical stuff, right? So think around these points that I told you now. Okay, so customized resume is pretty important and your cover letter is also important, and your this research plays a critical role for your application to go successful. Some organizations will just give you in the first round, they will give you a video interview. Okay, and in the video interview they'll ask you, why do you want to join us? And you know what is the success criteria? 44%. I was reading some articles. So from 100 profiles, they will take only 44 profiles based on the answer of why do you want to join us. Now understand how important is this question. So where from you will answer, why do you want to join us? You will answer this based on your research of this point, okay? And your research on what organization does and how your skill set aligns with the organization skill sets. I mean, organization needs, how your values align with organization needs. Okay, so I hope you got my point here, what I am saying. And just a recap of what all we discussed today. So machine learning, something on which model to pick on what kind of scenario, something on retail analytics, some concepts on Python, basic simple things, some concepts on machine learning. Okay. And then I told you there is a session 15 minutes from now. Please join that session. It will be very interactive and you can ask your questions, some puzzles, and some knowledge on how to prepare yourself for the job search. Don't think from India point of view. There are cultural differences between Indian companies and companies outside of India. So I want you to be prepared for both. So I hope you like this session, guys. Tell me in comment if you like this session. Okay. And we can discuss, Bhaskar. I can take your query in the upcoming session at 11. I mean, my time 11, your time 4:30, maybe India time. So are you liking this knowledge sharing session, guys? Tell me. Because I keep thinking what should I discuss, and then I put the things which makes more sense for you. I mean, which will help you in some way or other. There is no format, there is no predefined stuff that we do. Just I think I try to put whatever will be helpful for you. Okay. So I hope you like the session, guys. Thanks everybody for joining. And I will see you all in the 15 minutes from now. Again, YouTube. You can join. That will be a different kind of discussion altogether. You can join, ask your queries, and we will sync up there. Okay. I will discuss that, Parag, your question. Okay. Actually, frankly speaking, I want some 10 minutes of break just to have some water and tea, etc. Okay. I will take your query in the next one. Okay. So thanks, Parag, and thanks everyone for joining, and see you all in the next session.